Alright, good morning everyone, it's me, Gaming Rivalry, back again with stories from Seoul, the Gandak. Last time we got the security code from the Captain Barther Muse herself, and we found out that one of the reason that the Kalai got no, what's it called, reinforcement, kind of her fault. So let's just keep moving. Lieutenant Lord, I've got the codes. You release the push to talk button and wait. You give it a moment, but instead of more instruction from the chief or some kind of backhanded congratulation from Lieutenant Lord, all you hear is with a powerful hiss of static. Chief? You try again. Lieutenant Lord? Still nothing. Anyone? Come on! You give the radio a shake and spend a few moments adjusting the frequency dials, but you still don't hear anything from anyone, just the hiss of static. For a moment you feel like throwing the radio down the corridor, but instead you slump against the nearest wall and hold your head in one hand. Slouching against the wall in the low light for a moment longer, you sigh loudly before turning and kneeling down by the PST, which you begin to pack back up. You've got the codes, you just can't get them to the chief over the radio. The next best thing you decide is to get them to her in person. Clip the latches on the PST closed and pick it up as you stand, turning to make your way through the darkness towards the Forsyth thoroughfare. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go to the mess hall. I'm gonna grab some chocolate. No.
No.
Bridge. Can't waste time. I need to get back. There goes the chief. Oh. Straight to the chief. I thought we're gonna go to the bridge again. Engineering. Outside of the huge blast door that separates the aft thoroughfare from the engineering department, you begin the increasingly familiar process of unpacking the PST. Okay, can we just skip this part? First we throw in the cable, then this one. Like the other doors, the PST battery power has been used to open. This blast door is inches thick and comprised almost entirely of solid steel. It was tentatively as a low grinding sound emanates from the ceiling for about 10 seconds before the door even begins to move. Like the others, the opening process is agonizingly slow. In the darkness of the thoroughfare, time seems to lose all meaning as you watch the door almost imperceptibly work its way upwards. After a few minutes, the barely noticeable progress comes to a halt and the low grinding sound stops, with the blast door giving you just over a foot of clearance between it and the floor. Turning your attention back towards the PST, you see a graphic of an empty battery with a cross through it blinking on the screen. Oh no. Knowing that the blast door is being kept open by devices dwindling battery power, you drop to the floor and grabbing the PST begin to crawl forward into engineering. There's just enough clearance. So this is me? This is Waldo Uchiha?
Oh my god, Waldo!
He looks like Sasuke's father. Just enough clearance for you to worm your way underneath, but the smooth panel floor turning to grating makes it an uncomfortable experience. By the time you make it halfway through with your feet still sticking out in the aft thoroughfare, the grinding noise that had stopped with the door starts back up again. Oh my god! You're gonna get crushed, Waldo! Use your Sharingan! You shove the PST ahead of you through the small gap behind, being mindful to not yank the cable plug into the underside of the terminal. Ignoring the grating now, you quickly squirm the rest of the way until you're clear of the door. Rolling into your back, you grab the PST cable and give it a swift tug, pulling it out of the terminal on the other side and back to you just before the blast door drops shut. Wow, very intense. That was way too close. You stand up, then quickly pick up the PST, which still has the low battery warning blinking on its screen. Chief! Your call is met with the oppressive silence that somehow seems worse in the fast pace of the engineering department. Chief, it's me, Lieutenant Uchiha. I've got the PSD. Chief! Making your way past various systems, terminals, and station and machinery, you continue to call out of the chief, but there is no response. Where the hell could she be? As you continue your way deep into engineering, you grab the radio. Chief! It's like the last time you tried, no one answers, and all you hear is static. Chief? Chief? Chief! Looking down at the PSD screen, you make a decision. Well, I've done everything else myself. Turning back from the main section of engineering, you make a beeline over to the room that holds the central computer, your footstep on the grating echoing throughout the silencing. I may as well finish things. As you begin to run, the PSD starts to beep and the battery symbol flashes even more rapidly. If you're running out of battery, then don't use what you've got left flashing and beeping. That makes sense. Running at full pelt now toward the central computer, you reach it just as the PSD's whole screen begins to blink, cycling between showing the warning and nothing at all. Once you arrive at the doorway that leads to the central computer, you know what you've got to do. What?
What?
As you arrive at the doorway that leads to the doorway. Wasting no time, you withdraw the cable and hurriedly plug it into the terminal with one hand while scrolling through options with the other. Come on, hang in there. Come on, come on. Almost there. As soon as the door begins to open, you jump to it and start pushing on it in order to force it open. Once you've made the gap large enough, you slip through at the exact same moment as you hear the PSD power down and the door slides back shut. Takes a moment, but your eyes adjust to the darkness of the room. Looking around, you see what it's a little bigger than cleaning cupboard or a crew member's shower cubicle. Masses of thick cabling run from the ceiling and floor along the walls towards the end of the room opposite the doorway. On the far side is a huge screen with a keyboard positioned below it at about waist height. Stepping towards the interface, you run your hand over the keys. The computer shows no sign of life even after you begin to push random buttons. Simply mashing the keyboard doesn't produce any response, so instead you begin to feel your way over its casing in the darkness, trying to find what might be a power button. Eventually you find a rocker switch set into the side of the device. Flick it to the alternate position once, but nothing happens. With no other option, you flick it back to the position it was in. This time the screen illuminates and you hear electronics come to life. Whee! As a hard drive somewhere beyond the screen begins to whirl loudly, the screen transitions from its boot screen to a password input screen. After everything you've been through, you're now one input away from getting the ship back online. And enter! With the final flourish, you strike the return key. An immense feeling of satisfaction fills you as you watch the computer work its way through the startup process. Names of systems show up and are followed by their status changing from offline to active. A faint rub runs down your neck, which you take to mean life support and ventilation is back online. Alright, hold on, Cassie.
What is wrong?
Wait, what? No, come on! Hit with a gut punch of panic as the visual on the screen begin to warp. Fragments of text scatter and lines of code split and distort with a strange noise squeals from the machinery. Don't do this! Sure of what's going on, but beginning to think that it is your fault, you look over the keyboard again, repeatedly striking any key that seems like it may stop this process. N! Escape! Pause! 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 Come on!
What is wrong?
What's going on? Suddenly, as it started, the computer's erratic activity ceases, with the only document left on screen, Cassie's personnel file. Cassie's file? Wait, why? You pause, unsure whether you should do anything or leave it as it is. You can tell from the ambient noise that has returned and the ship is back online, but why would the computer freak out like this? Why would it put up Cassie's file? No. Doing your best to understand what you just saw, you tentatively reach a hand out towards the keyboard. You're still unsure of what you could do to find out what just happened, but can't help but feel like whatever it was wasn't right.
Uchiha, I need you up on the bridge right now.
You withdraw your hand instead of grabbing the radio to answer Lieutenant Lord. Alright, I'm on my way back. How's Lieutenant Quinn doing?
There's no time for her. Get up here now.
You curse under your breath as you turn to leave the room. You've learned now that if Lieutenant Lord doesn't intend to be helpful, she won't be. Rather than attempt to argue, you make your way through the ship back towards the bridge. As the elevator door hits open, you step onto the bridge. You see Lieutenant Lord frenziedly flicking switches and turning dials on an instrument panel, stopping every so often to type commands into her station. Cassie, meanwhile, remains unconscious on the bridge floor. I'm here, Lieutenant. What else is wrong now? You hurriedly over to Cassie and kneel down, sliding your hands under her back and legs in preparation to pick her up and take her to the newly accessible sickbay.
It's the O'Brien.
With a single movement, you stand and bring Cassandra up from the floor. What about it?
It's gone.
April 23rd, Planetary Calendar 214. Despite the successful reactivation of the JFS Gundog Central Computer by Lieutenant Uchiha, the JFS O'Brien couldn't be contacted and was no longer coming up on sensors. After taking Lieutenant Commander Quinn to the sick bay, Lieutenant Uchiha alongside Cadet Grange are tasked with sweeping the ship for faults or damage, whilst Lieutenant Lord sets Chief Cathays to work helping her look at the other ship. Wait. Is it the O'Brien that is missing, or is it us? Because we've been offline for probably around 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours. We're straight from our regular path. I don't know. Might be us. I don't know. The JFS O'Brien is eventually located just as Captain Bartholomew calls an emergency meeting. Outer Jovian space, the bridge of the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. It's you, the chief and Lieutenant Lord stand to attention, waiting for the captain to begin the meeting. Sound of an approaching elevator is the only noises that can be heard in the tense silence of the bridge. Ensign Hansen Cruz, entering the bridge and reporting as ordered. Hansen stays, performing a lazy salute as he steps out of the elevator and onto the bridge. You shift slightly as you watch him enter. You knew you were waiting for someone, but why Hansen? He pauses for a moment, and you see him take stock to everyone present. Your shoulder tense up, and you inadvertently clench your jaw as he heads straight towards you. At the last moment, he steps to your side and takes a place in the lineup next to you without so much as a sideway glance. You remain on edge, but your attention is quickly taken by the captain as she finishes reviewing the readouts from the control panel on her chair and stands up.
At ease.
The four of you relax slightly, although with the exception of Hansen, you all maintain a formal stance.
Now that we're all assembled, we can begin. First of all, well done to all of you for your actions whilst I was
Getting drunk.
in this.
For a brief moment, the captain's eye meets yours and you do your best not to react. Aside from the doctor, you were confident that you were the only person on board who knew the nature of the captain's indisposition. Despite your best efforts, you scowl slightly. You hadn't had much time to think about anything beyond the situation at hand, but the information in this report you had read had begun to creep into your thoughts. You knew that now wasn't the time to bring it up, but eventually you'd need to deal with this information in one way or another. Closing your eyes and exhaling, you try to return your face to its neutral countenance and hope that the captain didn't notice that flicker of emotion. As you push through As you push your thoughts regarding the report to one side, you instead find yourself wondering if the captain is currently in a fit state to be organizing a mission.
Your cooperation, ingenuity, and composure under pressure have been noted, and I will be recommending formal words be applied to your records.
Out of the corner of your eye, you notice Vanessa not in agreement, but the rest of you remain still.
Now on the matter at hand, as of 11:47 Jovian Standard Time, a signal of unknown origin was received which shut down not just the Gandalf central computer but also all of its emergency backup systems as well. With Commander Quinn unexpectedly taken ill, Lieutenant Lord took command and Lieutenant Uchiha was able to carry out her plan to access the hangar via the external airlock.
You've been too busy carrying out an assessment of the ship's system alongside Dalton to submit an incident report, and you knew that Chief had been tasked by Vanessa with locating the unresponsive O'Brien. But your tongue and glance back at Vanessa, who nods again, the corners of her mouth curling upwards. The captain was clearly working from a biased interpretation of events.
From there, Lieutenant Uchiha was able to obtain a portable sub-terminal and the codes for the reactivation of the central computer, a process he carried out successfully at 13:27.
Oh yeah, it's about 2 hours.
Although the Gondok is now operational, we have not been able to make contact with the O'Brien. We can only assume that whatever interfered with the Gondok system had the same impact on the O'Brien. Unfortunately, it would appear their crew have not been able to reactivate its system as we have received no communications from them whatsoever. Chief Cat Eyes, do we have an update on the O'Brien?
Group turns to look at the chief and as she steps forwards, and you realize that this is the first time you have seen her outside of engineering or the hangar. Although she stands as tall as ever, there's something about her presence that feels diminished.
Yes, ma'am. We've not had any response from the O'Brien transponder, and the normal sensors haven't been able to pick up any of the usual activity from a ship. However,
You hear Vanessa thud, and the chief pauses briefly before continuing.
That is, Lieutenant Lord, and I realized that by using the infrared targeting sensors in the fire control, we could pick up the O'Brien itself as if it were debris. We've located at 43 degrees off the starboard bow at a distance of roughly 300 kilometers. Resolution gets a bit scrappy at the range, but we're not seeing any external signs of activity. I see. Lieutenant Lord, how long until we can dock with them to provide assistance? I think the chief is best equipped to handle the question, ma'am.
Chief pauses for a moment. You know the answer to this question, but so should the chief and Vanessa. As the silence drags on, you begin to wonder why neither of them are forthcoming.
Chief Cat Eyes?
The pause only become more loaded as the second pass. Whilst you have no idea what's happening here, you can feel the tension between Chief and Vanessa build. Let's just stay out of
Answer!
it.
Answer!
Although you can tell something is going on between the two of them, you know that the crew of O'Brien must be in a similar situation to the one that you just faced, and without immediate assistance, they were at risk of running out of breathable air very soon. You had put up with enough from Vanessa for today and weren't about to let her petty power plays get in the way of helping your comrades. You can't, it's the engines, ma'am. They're still offline.
What's that, Lieutenant?
Whilst Cadet Grange and I were assessing the ship for faults and security issues, we found that the engine had failed to restart. Diagnostics show the forced shutdown put the nuclear pulse engines offline. They need to be manually reactivated. The captain lets out an exasperated sigh as she hears this information, making no effort to conceal her frustration.
And how long until they can be back online?
Prepare to answer with what Dalton had told you, but you're cut off by the chief.
We're looking at 6 hours, ma'am. We've been preoccupied with finding the O'Brien, so I haven't had the opportunity to begin the startup process to get them running again.
then follows this information with another sigh. You had always thought of her as distant or disinterested, but considering her current state, you had to wonder how much of that was her simply working her way through a hangover.
I see.
The captain stands silent for a moment, keeping her eyes closed and pinching the bridge of her nose with her thumb and forefinger. Suddenly her eyes open and she stands completely upright. Assuming a posture, you're surprised to see from her that manages to communicate an air of not just authority but capability.
We'll be carrying out a mission as follows.
4 of you snap back to attention. Even Hansen seems to take this announcement seriously.
As we're not able to reach the O'Brien with the Gondok to provide support, we'll be doing the next best thing. Ensign Cruz and Lieutenant Uchiha will head over in an armored frame to provide assistance.
You clench your teeth and your body goes rigid. Not only would this be your second trip into space in the span of a few hours, but you'll be doing it with Hansen for company.
Yeah! Push Hansen into the space!
Your eyes dart across to Hansen, whose attention remains on the captain. You can't be sure, but you swear you see a flicker of a smile on his face.
We'll be working on the assumption that the same issue affecting the Gondok are affecting the O'Brien, so... Lieutenant Uchiha will take a portable sub-terminal, locate the captain or second-in-command and utilize their access codes to assist their chief engineer in reactivating the ship. If there are any complications, or we're too late, then our second priority will be to obtain the Orion's black box. At the very least, we can hopefully gather some information on what's out there that could immediately disable 2 class ships. Lieutenant Uchiha, Inside Cruz, do you both understand?
Pair of you salute and in unison respond. Yes, Captain!
Yes, Captain!
Yes, Captain!
Chief Cat Eyes, I want you to provide a fully charged portable sub-terminal and guidance on removing a Swift-class black box. After that, prepare Gondok 1 for launch, and then I want those engines back online. Understood? Yes, Captain. Lieutenant Lord, you'll be overseeing this mission. Understood? Yes, Captain. Very good. It's 16:03. This mission commenced at 16:30. Dismissed.
With this final instruction out of the way, you all salute the captain and then turn to leave. She was the first of you to reach the elevators, and she stepped into one without waiting for anyone else, pressing the button for her destination and disappearing behind its 2 doors as they hissed shut. Without paying you any attention, Vanessa and Hansen both step onto the remaining elevator, with Vanessa hitting a button as soon as the pair have boarded. As the door closes, you see her turn to Hansen, cross her arms and begin to speak, but her words are cut off before you can hear them. The man on the silent bridge with the captain, who you hear, return to her chair. As you wait for an elevator to return, you go for what you might need to do in your head. It will be Chief's responsibility to get you a charged portable sub-terminal, and Hansen and Dalton will be responsible for pre-flight checks. Aside from getting a spacesuit from the hangar, you realize you don't really have anything you need to do before the mission starts. With less than half an hour to go before you'll be taking off, you don't have much time to do anything either, though. You might have the opportunity to visit a few other crew members to check in on them, you think, but it might be a push to visit everyone. Eventually, the elevator the chief left in returns and the door hisses open. Let's talk. The captain.
Yes, Lieutenant. Can I help you?
You thought you'd know what you wanted to ask the captain, but in the moment you find a words that catch in your throat and you were suddenly unsure of yourself. You get a lot of questions that requires a lot of time. It doesn't help.
I have a mission to prepare, and you need to be boarding that armored frame with Ensign Cruz soon. If you've got something to say, I'd suggest you to do so quickly. I don't have a lot of time to complete this mission plan, so I can't talk with you for long.
Based on the captain's terse response, you decide you should focus on one thing that's most important to you right now. What should we ask? We'll save. Let's ask about the report. It takes you a moment to work up the confidence to ask the question as the captain fixes her gaze on you. Eventually, you decide the best approach is simply to be direct as possible. Here's the report, Captain.
Report, Lieutenant.
You draw a deep breath. You had come this far, there was no sense in turning back now. Report in your desk, ma'am. It was in there alongside the access codes. The captain looks deep in thought, trying to understand what you were talking about when the captain's expression takes you completely by surprise. Your normal look of lazy indifference instead of replaced by a savage glare. You feel a chill down your back as the temperature of the whole room drops.
What were you doing reading that report?
The captain asked through clenched teeth. It was in amongst the access codes and fell out.
You had no business reading it.
With respect, Captain, that report...
That report, Lieutenant Uchiha, is not just restricted, it's personal and has nothing to do with you.
Assertion from the captain strikes you like a slap to the face and you feel an instant anger flow through you. Nothing to do with you. With respect, Captain, that report has everything to do with it. I was part of the Clyde armored frame flight, and so was Hansen. You see the captain's brow furrow as she continues to glare at you. Eventually, she stands up from her chair and walks to the far side of the bridge. The captain's silence drags on, unbearable now that you're finally at this moment. Just want to know why, Captain. What happened? Why did you send those ships forward?
Lieutenant, we're all made mistakes.
Her use of the word mistakes makes you want to scream, as if that could explain what she had done. The phrasing makes you inarticulate with rage as you try to interject, but find yourself lost for words.
Now you have an armored frame to be boarding and I have a mission to complete planning. Unless you want to make a mistake of your own, I recommend you to prepare for your upcoming mission. No, it's not the time, Lieutenant.
Captain!
Dismissed, Lieutenant.
Your fists clench and mind racing, you stand in silence with the captain meeting your glare with a cold and composed stare. Despite the rage you feel churning through your entire body, you find yourself barely able to move, let alone respond. With an exasperated yell, it's exasperated yell. I thought he fell to a black hole or something. Captain head to the elevator, stepping inside and punching the button to send you to the central hub. Turn back.
Someone who fell into the black hole doesn't sound like that.
You turn back just as the doors close. The captain's cool gaze still locked on you. As the elevator takes you to see, black hole.
It's not black hole.
You slam your fist into the nearby wall. You know, may not be the time you decide, but soon. You pace back and forth within the cramped confines of the elevator, barely holding on to your anger. Eventually, you rest your forearms and head against the cool steel of the elevator's floor, exhaling deeply. I have a mission to get on with. I don't have time for this now. You swallow your anger, determined that the captain won't be able to dodge your question for long. As the elevator doors open, you're immediately confronted by Vanessa. Standing in front of you, her arms crossed and her foot tapping impatiently.
Well, it took you long enough, Lieutenant Uchiha.
You sidestep her and make your way into the central hub. As you do, she turns to follow you. My apologies, Lieutenant. I didn't realize I was needed so urgently.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, Uchiha.
Your frustration with Vanessa had cooled over the past few hours as she had spent time with Dalton and had been carrying out duties that kept you well away from her. Back in her presence, you remembered how tense things had got between you on the bridge and over the radio. Lieutenant Lord, I've got a mission to be preparing for. Is there anything I can help you with right now, or can I get going?
It's nothing much, Lieutenant. I just wanted to say that you did a good job on getting the Gondok operational again.
Something about Vanessa's manner makes you instantly uneasy, considering how she had behaved recently. Praise was the last thing you had expected. Thanks. I did what I had to do.
And for that, you've received a much-deserved recommendation. Commendation on your record.
You roll your eyes and begin to walk away again, unwilling to deal with whatever mind games Vanessa was attempting to play.
Wait a moment, Lieutenant Uchiha. All I wanted to do was congratulate you. You deserve it as a member of the crew who's gone above and beyond.
Was this bad, Lieutenant? You asked, your patience thinning rapidly.
Straight to the task at hand, that's what I like about you, Lieutenant. Now, a proficient, able crew member like yourself, you know that it means to do your duty, but you've seen how the captain and her second carry out their affairs on the ship.
What are you getting at?
All I want to know, Lieutenant, is whether you think that crew members like yourself, Chief Engineer Kathais, Cadet Grange, and the rest deserve a competent commander?
Let's just leave.
Leave.
Bye. I don't like you. Your recent discovery about the captain comes back to the front of your mind, but instead of answering, you make a move to walk past Vanessa, fully intending to not get involved in whatever she's planning. Lieutenant Lord, I really don't have time for this.
Based on your recent conduct, Lieutenant, you seem pretty reliable, so I wanted to let you know ahead of time. I'll be keeping a close eye on this mission to see who's capable and who isn't. It's important to know who you can trust to do what needs to be done, after all. Anyway, nice to talk with you, Lieutenant. Good luck on your coming mission.
Is she a middle schooler? With that, Vanessa
She sounds like that.
Yeah. Vanessa turns on her heel and heads off down the Forsyth thoroughfare, leaving you alone in the central hub.
Oh, Lieutenant. Do your best. I'll be watching.
Okay, thank you.
Just watching! Not helping!
Elevator's back in action, there's no need. Okay, should we visit Cassie?
The mission is the more important than kissing.
I don't care, let's visit Cassie. The elevator doors light open and you raise your hand to shield your eyes from the aggressive glare of the sickbay powerful lighting. As you've come to expect, the strong scent of clinical disinfectant pervades the room. Yeah, okay, scanning the room, you see everything seems in order. Nothing out of places.
There he is! Wonderful!
Sandra, who had been idly laying back on one of the beds playing with her hair, had seen you in the moment you'd stepped into the room and swung her legs around to the side of the bed, launching herself off it and towards you.
I heard all about you, how you'd...
Careful, Cassie! Whoa! You dart forward just in time to grab her before the stumble she had taken turns into a fall. Alright. Let's get you back to the bed.
Thanks, will do!
In one swift motion, you scoop Cassie up in your arms and carry her back to the bed, setting her down on the one she had just been lying on.
Okay, I think I could have met that journey on my own, you know? Oh,
Well, better safe than sorry, right?
still looking after me after everything you've done already, my hero?
Your cheeks go flush and you look away for a moment. The captain's acknowledgement of your actions had been so perfunctory that it had barely registered. But Cassie's wholehearted praise has you suddenly feeling sheepish. No, it wasn't a big deal. It was just what I had to do. I'm pretty sure anyone else would have done the same thing if they were in my position.
Don't sell yourself short, Waldo. It is a big deal. Saving an entire crew from a complete system failure with no chain of command isn't exactly something that we get trained for. Plus, I didn't hear about anyone else going on a spacewalk from one end of the ship to the other to get the equipment they needed. If doing all that doesn't make you a hero, I don't know what does.
You smile and look back at Cassie. As self-conscious as you feel being called a hero, her assessment of events isn't wrong. Thanks, Cassie.
I'm pretty sure I should still be thanking you, Waldo. I don't think Vanessa could have carried me down here like you did.
Bite your tongue at Cassie's mention of Vanessa. You had a strong feeling that Vanessa wouldn't have even tried. You push the thought from your mind. You don't have much time with Cassie before your mission is due to begin, and the last thing you want to be doing is thinking about Vanessa. Worry about it. What are you doing anyway?
Oh, me? I'm doing great, aren't I? Doc?
Are you eating chocolate? Although he doesn't look up from his datapad, you see a flicker of recognition on the doctor's face. Oh, Miss Quinn, you're not doing great. He had a sudden and intense migraine, followed by an unexplained and extended loss of consciousness, which in turn has been followed by a persistent and ongoing headache. I would not describe your condition as great. Cassie, why didn't you tell me you were still feeling bad?
Oh, come on. What are you, my doctor?
No, Miss Quinn, he's not your doctor.
It's an expression, Doc.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
So, I've got a bit of headache right now. I bet it's nothing. It's probably because I pulled a double shift to cover the captain without eating anything with a bag of chips and three chocolate
That's
bars.
not nothing. That's not without eating anything. That's a lot of things. Cassie, Miss Quinn, you had advised me you'd been sticking rigorously to the NutriShake schedule I'd laid out for.
Okay, everyone. Jeez. I know, but here I am, hydrated and full of electrolytes on doctor's order. I'm going to be fine.
Drink.
So,
Drink.
Anyway, where's my water? So anyway, how are you doing, Waldo? Are you able to finish your shift now that the Gundog's back up and running and your mates are sure everything's okay?
Well, actually, we've not been able to make contact with the O'Brien, so I've been ordered to head over there in an armored frame.
Oh no, honey, that seems really...
With Hansen.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. How are you feeling about it?
I'm not looking forward to it. If I'm being honest, I'm really not looking forward to it. You let out a deep sigh as various thoughts about the mission failure of mine. I'm not sure what's going to be worse, being stuffed inside an AF with him for the flight over, or having to work with him once we get on board on the O'Brien. I'll be a superior officer once we're over there. I don't even want to think about how he will take that. You taper off as you begin to mentally run through all the terrible outcomes you can imagine coming from such a situation.
Hey, don't worry about it. As much as Hansen is... he's still a part of the GCF and one of our crewmates. He likes to throw his weight around where he can get away with it, but I don't think he'll do it on an important mission. I think he's a little too proud to ruin his reputation as an ace pilot by starting a fight inside of this AF. Besides, once you're on the O'Brien, you can just get to work helping the other crew and ignore him.
Well, that's the other thing. It looks like whatever happened to the Gundog has happened to the O'Brien. Since we've not been able to identify any activity coming from them, there's a good chance that their crew hasn't made it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Hey, come on. They may not have got their ship back up and running, but maybe they've got their own savvy chief engineer who has figured out a solution that keeps them all safe. And on top of that, if they're really lucky, they've got their own heroic security officer who's saving their entire crew right now.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure it will be fine. You do your best to match Cassie's enthusiasm, but you hadn't forgotten the chill in the air of the Gundog just before you had got back online. One of the first signs that a ship wouldn't be able to sustain its crew for much longer. That had been over 3 hours ago.
Hey, Waldo. Whatever happens, it'll be alright. You've already done incredible things today, way more than anyone could have ever expected. You're gonna be alright.
Thanks, Cassie.
Besides, you said you would book us tickets for that new water park in the Europa cluster. I'm not going to let anything happen that'll stop us from going. Now get out there and nail this mission, Lieutenant Uchiha.
So you will fly to our AF if something happened inside the AF? Yes, ma'am. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Wow.
Yay!
The past two videos has been very lengthy with That's fine. It will make the series end much faster, I hope. So, anyway, we'll be heading into the space again next video. See you guys later. Don't forget to give a like and
Bye-bye.
subscribe, and I don't know.
Keep waiting for the next episode.
Stay hydrated.
Yay! Yeah, don't forget to drink. Like me, I forgot.